How do I get my 25M, father, 70M, to stop sugar daddying women in Brazil? My Brazilian father asked me to receive a package that wouldn't deliver to his P.O. box in the US. It was a $250 perfume for a woman in Brazil. I didn't think much of it, because he often buys things for people in Brazil, brings it like it's his own, and they pay him for it without the Brazilian tariffs. Fast forward to this morning, he wants me to print out this PDF form he received on his WhatsApp and walks away. While I'm on his WhatsApp, I see the profile pic of an attractive woman, with a seemingly elaborate message sent from my dad. It turns out she was the one who asked for the perfume. Scrolling up the messages, he's been sending heart emojis and calling her a special person, yada yada. I closed it before he saw me. Besides the fact he's still married and living with my mom, 56F, he was just in Brazil for a good 2 months. I have reason to suspect he may be sugar daddying this woman, and maybe more women. I'm having trouble dealing with this realization, and I want to get him to stop this clown behavior. For years he's been a jealous and controlling husband who would talk shit every time my mom went somewhere with her church, even though she could have cheated on him forever ago when she was raising me in Brazil by herself. Now I'm wondering if he's been projecting and being unfaithful all these years. This is part of what's bothering me. What on earth can I do to stop this? You can't do anything to stop it. He's a grown man with free will. All you can do is show your mom the evidence and let her decide what she wants to do about what remains of her marriage. Refuse to accept the packages if you're financially independent. Have somewhere to go if he kicks you out. You had best show him several episodes of Catfished. Have you told your mom? There's not much you can do to stop him. He's a grown man who can make his own choices, but if your mom isn't privy to this information, I think she deserves to know that he's a cheater. Give the perfume to your mother. Let your mom know about the other woman. Buy a cheap perfume to the side piece and let her know her sugar daddy has no intention of leaving his wife, just to cause chaos between the cheating pair. And support your mother. Just tell your mom. She deserves to know. Otherwise, there's nothing for you to do. He's a grown man and can sugar daddy if he wants to. From one Latina 25F to another, I'm genuinely sorry you had to see this behavior and go through this. My father cheated on my mom with multiple women my age and younger. He's definitely projecting behavior and he's likely very emotionally immature despite his age. I'd recommend telling your mom and setting firm boundaries with known things about their relationship and his personal life. Otherwise, definitely try not to let this revelation warp your view on love. Guard your heart and go to therapy if this ends up weighing on you heavily. I know for me it did. Unsure about my marriage, 33 female, 10-year marriage to my wife, 34 female. Where do I go from here? I, 33 female, have been married to my wife, 34 female, for 10 years. This year has been probably the worst year in my life that I have experienced. My father-in-law moved in at the start of the year permanently without a proper conversation between my wife and I. Then, my wife was extremely distant with me even though I begged for her to be more involved and spend quality time for our relationship. She was stressed with work during the year as well to give some perspective. Then, my mother got cancer and is most likely not going to live much longer. During this time, I found out my wife was on sexual meetup sites out of curiosity, and she gaslit me into thinking she wasn't. It later came out that she lied to me about this situation. During the past 2 months my wife has been working really hard to improve our relationship. However, I just keep thinking about the past and how things have been that I'm not sure if things will permanently change. My wife wants me to either move on or divorce. I'm still processing everything though and get angry and sad sometimes. I'm not sure what to do. I love my wife very much but she's not who I thought she was. Leave the cheater. Go be with your mother. She moved in her father. No reason why you can't go be with your mother. Make plans for divorce. Be with your mother and deal with the rest later. Nothing for you to decide, she's done that already. What's left is for you to make the next move. Since you replied to someone that your wife doesn't think counseling will help, she has already decided for the both of you. Her moving her father into your shared home without any discussion shows she already decided for the both of you. The choice you get to make is whether or not to stay with her until things settle with your mother or go live with and take care of your mother and file for divorce. Your wife has already given up and made the choice for the both of you. I am sorry to put it so bluntly, but that is how you presented it. If you don't have kids, I think you should cut her loose. This is a bad time for you both. I wouldn't make any decisions you may end up regretting until you are less stressed. Have you tried couples counseling? What do you do if you feel like you should not have married your spouse? F31 and M31. My husband, M31, and myself, F31, have been married 7 years, together since high school, class of 2012, and have a 3-year-old. I never felt as strongly for him as past boyfriends. But he was stable and not abusive. It felt like the stability I needed after growing up with my abusive dad. I was raised extremely strictly religious and he was willing to do everything that entails, build the kind of life together I so greatly desired since my upbringing was so unstable. Now I'm older, and I'm starting to accept a more forgiving and less legalistic view of religion. I'm being more honest with myself, including my true feelings, not just what I've tried to force myself to feel. I have the stability I always wanted and now feel safe enough to actually go for things I want and understand my own feelings. In that process I'm finding myself acknowledging the truth, that I don't feel deeply romantic about or attracted to my husband. Somewhat attracted, yes though, and our love has always felt more like a friendship love to me rather than romantic. He is also pretty easily triggered by me and has his own problems but is overall a good guy. I don't know what to do. I don't want to hurt him by divorcing him and especially do that to our child. But I feel like I'm doing a disservice to myself to stay too. I feel like a divorce would be so incredibly selfish, but I'm not happy with him either. Some insight would be appreciated, especially if you have been through divorce before. When you're in a stable relationship without all the ups and downs, it can feel boring. I think you should consider therapy and make a go at building the attraction again in your relationship. This feels like self-sabotage. You're stable, and now you're chasing something else. If you're unhappy, that's one thing. I don't think anyone should stay in a loveless relationship, but it kind of sounds like you're bored? I don't know. Sounds like you need therapy or couple counseling. As another commenter suggested, go to individual therapy and couples counseling. It honestly sounds like self-sabotaging behavior. Don't do something you'll regret and really think about what you want. If it's divorce, then divorce amicably and be good co-parents. With past boyfriends there were no responsibilities, no living together, no life. Just puppy love that makes everything feel good. So basically you used him for what he could provide, and now that you have stability, he's not the man you see yourself with. My girlfriend, 20F, keeps following hot guys on TikTok and it makes me, 20M, feel insecure. My girlfriend, 20F, keeps following guys on like TikTok that only post things like thirst traps etc, and I, 20M, have told her multiple times that it makes me feel sort of insecure and I don't feel good about it. But she doesn't seem to care and thinks I am overreacting. But if I would follow a bunch of girls that would post thirst traps and half-naked videos showing off their bodies, then she will be mad. I know I don't have much to say about who and what she follows on social media, but I don't understand why she has the need to follow these guys while she is in a relationship with me. What am I supposed to do? Stop accepting this one-sided arrangement. She wants the freedom to ogle guys while restricting your social media behavior? That's manipulative and hypocritical. Either the rules apply to both of you, or they apply to neither. Her dismissing your feelings while demanding respect for hers shows a fundamental lack of respect for you. This double standard reveals an underlying issue. She believes her feelings matter more than yours. That's not how healthy relationships work. If she can't see the hypocrisy in her behavior, you've got bigger problems than TikTok. If it makes you uncomfortable, and if she genuinely cares about you, she should respect that boundary and not follow these accounts. In my opinion, someone should not follow these types of accounts while in a committed relationship, unless their partner clearly shares that they don't mind, don't care. I personally never liked my boyfriend following accounts with thirst traps, and I've always made that clear. I also reciprocate by not following these accounts either. Respect works both ways. Start reciprocating. If she calls you out, leave. Wow, first time I've seen this story, but with the woman following thirsty traps. Funny how different the responses are when you flip the genders. She has a double standard for sure. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. If she can look at thirst traps on TikTok, you should be able to as well, or neither of you should. You can't really do much except assert your boundaries, and she can either accept them or not. If she can't respect your boundaries and doesn't want to treat you like an equal in the relationship, then that doesn't really bode well. Follow some girls on TikTok and let her see it. Grow a backbone. She is going to continue to do the things she knows you are not comfortable with until you start to hold her accountable. Create a boundary. Discuss the boundary with her and tell her the repercussions of said boundary. If she is unwilling to agree to your boundaries, then you really have no relationship.